inviting our Navajo talent as well today. And after, or this afternoon, around 12:30, there is also a meet and greet with Bearson. Give Bearson a big round of applause too. Bearson. He accomplished his goal going from California to New York City, and he is on his way back to his home in California, and he stopped here at our nation's capital. So at 12:30 at the fairgrounds, we'll be able to, or you'll be able to meet and greet Bearson and thank him for his walk that raised awareness for many causes. Testing. All right. So this. So many causes as he walked throughout this country. So let's give him a round of applause. All right, so let's fix the mic here and then we'll start. I have a, just to give you a preview. Just to give you a preview of today here at the zoo. We'll be doing an invocation. Our former Vice President Rexley Jim will do our prayer. We'll go into the welcome address. Vice President and I. There'll be song performances really. Talaba Begay, Juliana Begay Kropa, Miss Navajo Nation, Niagara Rock Bridge, a message from the First Lady, Cecilia Nez, and we'll also be having Bearson say a few words to us today too as well. We have virtual performances, song performances, Cali Bennett, presentation on Diné language, Dr. Andy Nez, virtual. There'll be a song performance by Taylor Lee, and closing remarks and benediction by Dr. Perfilia Fowler. So as we are waiting to get on the air here, we have. Do we have Adriano here? Is he here? He's supposed to, but he's not here yet. Testing 1, 2. Adriano Tsenegini from the Navajo Nation Youth Council. So he'll be, once he gets here, he'll begin to be our masters of ceremony. But it is now 10:15. Are we ready or not? It was working fine earlier. All right. You know, we always have technical difficulties, right? So we'll wait a few more minutes, and then we'll begin with the invocation, okay? And thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a happy and safe day today. It is Family Day, Navajo Nation Heritage Day as well. So they count right?
Testing. Testing.
You know, because of each and every one of you, we persevered, right? I know that many of us have been directly impacted by the virus, right? COVID-19, we may have lost someone we love, someone we know, someone caught it, maybe having some long-term health problems. And so we're going to pray for them this morning as well, for the recovery and prayers for our family members out there. But those of us that are still here on this earth, we still got a job to do our very best for our Navajo people so we can continue to be that strong nation, the Navajo nation, right? So ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to our former Vice President, Rexley Jim, who's going to be doing our invocation.
Ayate. Chicken to chin, shit to chin, the bush chin. Tia Ani that she chain, knock the net of Chanel. Since there's Adona shot at the point hole, ye. A quietly hushed. Ado que ya. So there's no hadith that she don't need Asian big cow. Ado at the neck at Chishin is net or less. A quay with Edo, Hashin, Chishin with the deeds. Aron da hodoba yatki igi da the ne heritage ma ne ho a Asian big ho ne aro harish ni hote ya ne person hit lesson to the zin ebe ni aro hochne hote shi roi atla otla de kushni at e bihi khido be da ido tabe ya da de ni kha ko ido be kha huin ti da to be أكيد راح تريدو كده تخبرو أكيد نتابع خارجة جاي بتني زيت ناشنا إنجا إيه وتأكو كشيء سنتنا جديد على رأس الزمن بحديد أي نيا نيا أي Kulangan ya kulangan ya kani kusang alai ya kulangan ya saan nagang ya kulangan ya beka hujung alai ya kulangan ya tsaye hujung alai kayishne hujung kulangan Naya ya Kulang naya ya Kulang naya ya Kulang naya kaya tashi ya Kulang naya saan nagang ya Kulang naya peka hujung ya Kulang naya kayishne Hujung alaya tsayin Hujung Kulangan naya ya Kulangan naya ya Kulangan naya yang kulangan naya katekisang alaya Kulangan naya saan nalang ya Kulangan naya beka hujung alaya Kulangan naya tsayin Hujung alaya kayishne Hujung kulangan naya ya Kulangan naya ya Kulangan naya yang kulangan naya katoy isang alaya Kulangan naya saan nagang alaya Kulangan naya beka hujung alaya Kulangan naya kayishne Hujung alaya tsayin Hujung kulangan naya Kulangan naya Kulangan naya yang kulangan naya kacahat ya Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ulang amana. Naya ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya kahayos ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya kayishne. Hujung ya tiyaj. Hujung ulang amana. Naya ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya sana ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya khashe hulang ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tekayishne. Hujung ya tiyaj. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya nata askam ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya nata aso ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya kata ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya kain ya. Ulang anaya sana lang ya. Ulang anaya beke hujung ya. Ulang anaya kayishne. Hujung ya tiyaj. Hujung ulang amana. Ya. Ulang anaya ya. Ulang anaya ya kulang anaya ulang anaya ulang anam. Ya tiyaj. Hujung ya kayishne. Hujung ya yaki. Hujung ya kayiki. Hujung ya nam. Ane yaku na show ya. Ane yaku na show ya. Ane yaku na show ya. Na shay na ya. Ne yang ka chona pet ole te sans ko she na shit yaku nashu iyayaka asanatles buhoganla ate nashu iyaya shike baganla ate nashu iyaya shike honola ate nashu iyayaka asahoganla ate nashu iyayaka hojohoganla ate nashu iyayaka sahoganla ate nashu iyayaka saanawai abike hojan shin yaku nashu iyaya shitseje hojan yaku nashu iyaya shikeshne hojan yaku nashu iyaya shiyake hojan yaku nashu iyaya shikeke hojan yaku nashu iyaya shinate ta atko hojan yaku nashu iyaya shizate hojan yaku nashu iyaya ha ane yaku nashu iyaya ha ane yaku nashu iyaya ha ane yaku nashu iyaya nashayna iyaya ni yangom Adore Jean de l'instant de Yatel. Audutlissan, Truissan, Charles Hayol Carl. Ashtel Kishaw, Natal, Natal, to Toletin, Nistani. Ojon to Lesnasan, Shamans is cart or home. Lega Hotsan is cars, Ando, Hades Ango. Yat Echo Hojon cannot with Indole, Hotel cannot with Indole. Indian Hinago Honal, Loshvega Hodete. Visit a Honosan with the Hadizla, and that's how there's with the Hazlago, and with the Hazlago of the Kewit. He can has arch and he comes at he tunas can. I shall be on him in a rabbi at the hotel, and he or not be at the hotel. Send at the Hazla, so there's not a Hazla. Diveni Taro be any Behajo party, be. He is all at Hato and Tanita and the Hazleko Hard Ziko. The Yingo Ilnigo and Hanta had of Lego. He jabelt egg down in Zakes with egg out. He hit out on his east arch, hit east, hit arch, and hit east. Better Hojon Yata hot egg ego. He in Hosalting, he saw the Hosalting. Ilnigo the Yinu and Hada of Ledo. Bacalana needs the Nigi out. Ben Harchini, Yesto, that baby could eat it over and he came hidden. Diego Hostil ben Hassan deal is on Nil Angobes and Arabic Hojon, Dot Hidel Ne, Tanit Ligo de Ini Carter, even Yahanate Zihiki, Il Nigo de Gingo and Hanai dot Ledol. Nike ought not art, Nike ought if he in art, Ocon de la National in Jehojopa Initin, Yat Econate Dadole, Nike Trayaho Etole, Sini Dodat 800 Hongradat, no Natra, no Keshnatra. It is to it any. So that's what don't hold either dollet on his death, neither dollet needs him. Vince Angel that of Chidollet in the net and not in hon his heart. Adot ego nane cut, yat or nane cut, Hojon or San Bernardo, so the San Bernardo, at Yati Hane, Aketi, Akadis, Dot in Che, Di Bernardo, the destiny at Haya. They were Clanani, Klingo, Keffe, age in the Clinibashil, Chinin to change in Nalibe. And then Hosan Yatek, every Nini, in her club, like Nini, Nihina, Neshvek, Nini, and then her old club, like Nini. The adult one has Argent, Hiranaz, Sahana Rehogan, Kehojon Hogan, Lonas, Nedole, Bena and the Shibogan, Knibogan, the Bear and Heishi. Ni Robinado che Hades Argo Benit, any give a Nail Yeti, the Yingo illegal, Benani Tato, so that Project Horn in that Anitan Atlan Zingo had hardly had Naslatan, and that's Guistan, Scribata Hayad in the house, and that Abbot had between it loan and humanity, and he changed the Musson, and Harchin, he took and he not looked that are nailed. In den Hatschen hoch hat in der SK Walia in der Haas trat, als in der Haas trat, das Grüßani bei Jan der Haas trat, oder da als solche Steger Wache, sieht aber nicht, oder? A Joni Nigobahn Siekes war nicht Schickobahn Siekes. that's what you young when he last out yet a honani that in the code native heritage no needing needle Nike bo in Benel need on he in Benel need to the Benel need to Niki Zad Benel need to Benahi deal to Benashne Sana Revik a Hajon dot Kittel Nay need no nane catole. Die werd dat aalt goden hitch jongo. Die in de net dat aanelt en hitch nas de khoste on hitch nakke go benet dan jongo bezat dan jongo ni hike najet legon khanan chigon khana ta halya betnane catole. Ojon do de sonchen innetel ne halebe nane do le nas ne neche khotsele ojongo bohonet zago nane catole. Ojon do le sonchen ojon hasli Hojon hastling, Hojon hastling, Hojon hastling.
Hela, Ninat Ani, La Anach in Hanlo, Beshmahas Ando, Kenneth Sutahagi, Benanishila, so by Hennington Kodotz in Yehat Z. Aro nanit aani ho the nanit lini bakagish kliji bitsish kliji ni klinigi ya dola to nikit zil dan so lego tradisha Washington ota tradisha a ko e ade do the nedan linigi do jubilagana dan linigi da ye yadaltje dola do the ne Kagish Klijidan Lengi Yegon Hika eat jet da no Yadashke. Kon hits lal soya. Navajo Nation Code Talkers. Aj Nahandas ba Aron Hizado Chudayos eat. Ebony na kon halchin Analake Hitsoke Bidani Ligo Kodoyego Kujidanek etche Yadashke da bedi no. Ahot ashi e ya ye dabat zil do le nason et nij shkeno lini she kodo o hen gidini do le hadai no bi de kusen skagina hast et atta bi chini kha na halna konde a bin da le tse zindal kidigiya news will yegi le hadashi na Kretlijini, Kedhat Ede, Africa, Diha Ishi na Natlne hat no ba na honne. Ishi Kudo Onihil Belsen dole. Kudo la na danitsen. Nihik enihin ne ba da dotse, da di no, Jakul be yeltge. Nihi master dat Ido Ado a yedegosle ndakre. Do besped do le nikik enihin do bes dani higanigi baso tida di no do sa nikije ashanen daily a kuichi ya aro nihilla do thalawsh bet kada kis handen da so tha da di no yelke da isnol tsa hela koni masani hicheni nale Niche hada odze Ishi be nason hitzilo deni kashik enoslini Jukodo e deneni tle Sho hatnene Bahasti hatnene Jo e benache eko Nihitzilo naso deni kateneni tlini So Ishi be hada enosle shik enoslini O hien hidini dole Yego eko Din hinane shidelia Not ani dan linigi nihin de kodo shinab as Vice President Lizer. Di yikhaha da lego tadi ka bahat no yi yada da no da akonda a kuiche chiyan de ni di betlin da inigi dan de ni ho ahot a el kai je ngaro ni khido yezel en beken son zon ahot a edi beach di kashik enoslini eshi olya hada enoslne ha inilne hatnene jo na antinigi de no thing she slow tane sana iba chin to the chini ida shiro tachini da shanala so kudoshi the neck echini hits a hasi dole do a koheshi na nisya ala the neck echide yat na hat niya ala belagana get hajat the neck echada do yada tita na with ni ebenina asa kodoshi be yel dole dijia Ishin kota in khalchin البيدا هزن دول كدو طب الناسلجي تو عادين تانيخ الناسلجي internet be it. You know, we come to you to this day, social media, and we are here, you know, celebrating our heritage, our way of life, our who we are as a Navajo people. And we come together to celebrate being indigenous, being Navajo. And so today we proclaim, we have a proclamation Vice President and I have signed. And I want to read that proclamation to you. Today is recognizing November 26th, 2021 as Navajo Nation Heritage Day. Whereas the Navajo people recognize the Navajo Nation Heritage Day in recognition of the invaluable contributions, strength, and resilience of our Navajo people, and to honor and celebrate our culture, language, and teachings. And whereas the Navajo Nation honors their and appreciates all of the contributions of our people through military service, public and community service throughout our history and society, and through the sacrifice of our ancestors for our people and our country. And whereas for generations Navajo people have fought, listen to this part, guys. Navajo people have fought to survive colonialization, assimilation, disease, and genocide. Together, through the strength and prayer of our ancestors, we continue to persevere and overcome adversities to build a brighter and prosperous future for our children and future generations. Powerful, right? That's who we are. Navajo people. And then it says, whereas recognizing Navajo Nation Heritage Day will instill pride in our young people and encourage them to be part of the change to reteach the history of our country through the perspective of our Navajo people, and to carry on the teachings of our elders. And whereas the Navajo Nation commends the White House proclamation recognizing the month of November 2021 as Native American Heritage Month in honor of indigenous peoples' resilience and strength and immeasurable contributions made to American history and society. Now, therefore, I, Jonathan Nez, President of the Navajo Nation, and Myron Leiser, Vice President of the Navajo Nation, do hereby proclaim November 26, 2021 as the Navajo Nation Heritage Day to honor and celebrate all Navajo people around the world. Yeah. Beneni Tlini. Bahajo. And we signed that today to recognize that Navajo peoples have contributed great things to this country, huh? We use our language to win battles and to win World War II. You know, we even utilize our own natural resources, right? People came in and took out uranium to build these bombs, to win wars for this freedom. But we also need to remind our federal government of their obligation to the Navajo people, right? And today we celebrate being indigenous, to be Navajo, and to also have a special friend with us today too, to celebrate alongside us. And that's I Am Bear Son, right? Give him a big round of applause. Bear Son is in the house or is in the zoo. And thank you for being here, everybody. We welcome you here. And lastly, before I turn the time over to the Vice President, you can come up. I just want to just say thank you, everyone. Over 71% of our Navajo people that live on the Navajo Nation are fully vaccinated. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That's our armor. That's our armor against this COVID-19. And you know, people counted us out, but we're still kicking, we're still going forward, and we're going to go forward into the future. And we can only do that by helping each other out like we did throughout this pandemic. دي هذا الشيء تلود بالجان بكية تبان دالته نهيل يعيشني نهلن دوي تكوسن تساقي آتشنيدا الكجنا النشة كو تي في هجك كيسايا بان دالته لانكين ناثن قد كود نهيل يعيشني نهلن نكين نخاص الله شك اينو سليني نخالشن يتسوكن نالك بجا يلتكيو شو دو كوجنيدا دو تا باستك ده ننا إنا أنتين بيلتك دولار دانا شيء وطا يكيني هنا بالله صولي كشمش يجري كشمش جدو هول جيش مثلا شيء نال نصنيجيا أشخونه كدون يكيني هنا شيء يلتك دي هايشين باند التهجي دو يكونده نهيكيا جا يا دوسنتا هداينوسنه دي بيجري كهود دي نهيتالونو. Thank you so much, and I'm going to turn the time over to our Vice President. Give him a round of applause. Vice President Myron Leiser.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, it's good to be here today. Shay, Myron Leiser, Navajo Nation Vice President, Comanche Nishle, 1200 Bashes team. Though Comanche Deshache, Klasha Deshanelli, it's good to be with you all. Thank you on this Navajo Nation Heritage Day. You know, it's important that we as leaders here look for opportunities to join our people together and offer encouraging words, and this is no different. But I was struggling, to tell you the truth, you know, with what to bring forward. Basically, sometimes we need to be reminded, right? And during the pandemic, especially how we can all be encouraged, comforted, but also bring healing and be encouraged to go forward and become stronger because of this. And I think this is a good time to insert this little, I guess, discussion, Navajo Nation Heritage Day. I had to look up the word heritage and find out exactly what is heritage. I mean, think about it. I think we all have our own ideas of what heritage is. But heritage is property that is or can be inherited, or an inheritance, you know. So what is our inheritance here from this time, this pandemic here? You know, we are probably going to be strongly, I guess, forced to remember all of those over 1,500 of our dear citizens that we lost, you know. But because of that, we can become stronger. And I know President and I and First Lady and Second Lady were praying for the healing of the Navajo Nation. And we're helping to change the messaging that's out there, right? All the eyes of the world was on the Navajo Nation for a season, and it still continues to be as we are up and down in our positive cases. But what is our inheritance as we depart from this pandemic? A second meaning of heritage is something that is passed down from the preceding generations. Now they're talking. This is something that we can resonate with, right? What was passed down, the President does a great job of speaking of all of the stories, all of the traditions that our elders had laid before us, to us in our upbringing, and then we became adults, and then we shared those same ideas and those same stories with our children. So we do have an inheritance of stories, an inheritance of storytelling. And then through the pandemic, our stories changed. We started talking about how resilient that we are and that we can be, right, for the benefit of our children and our grandchildren. And so we can change the messaging here in this Navajo Nation Heritage Day, because it will always be attached. Today, the first time this proclamation was signed, will be attached to the pandemic in a way, if and how we allow it to change us will be what we take forward from us. And lastly, the status acquired by a person through birth. We can also realize where we were birthed in this, our clans, our clanship system. You know, we're all strong because of that, our kinship that we take forward in this. We could all speak towards a pandemic and this virus and how it changed us and how it changed our families. So basically something that is passed down from preceding generations or traditions. As we look forward to, those of you who are watching over there, we were just praying for Shema. She kind of took a spill there and hurt her head. So continue to keep her in prayer as she's leaving here, just to get changed, just to get checked out there. But every pandemic in our history has changed the way society operates. How are we going to let this pandemic mold and change us for the positive, right? Obviously, we were, President and I and our Health Command Operating Center and United Command Group and all the health professionals and our first responders, we all responded accordingly, and many more gave more sacrifices, more opportunity that they were in harm's way, and so, but yet they went. They even potentially brought the virus back to their family. And so how does it change us now going forward? How will we allow it to be changed? So the main question here, and then as President and I close out this Navajo Nation Heritage Day, what will the history books say about how the Navajo Nation was changed? Well, you and I are right here, right now. We are going to help write those history books, right, by our stories, our continued stories about how our prayers are out there now more so for our people, how we became more active in helping our people, right? Many of you joined all the volunteer efforts to bring out food, clothing, water, PPEs, and you joined force, and now many more are adding to that group. We will be a nation that'll be changed by the generosity of our people, and we go forward. And I pray that many more messaging like this here is magnified and hearkened over our families and in our communities. How can we become a better group of Dene citizens here on Navajo? Well, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, and it doesn't hurt anybody, we shall be pushing out those messaging and helping our people, taking up the burdens of others, as Scripture says. We can continually do that. And we can also maybe be strategically inclined to pray, to develop prayer groups, to join forces together to bring added benefit for our people and our citizens here on Dinetra. So here we are again. We're all in this together. What will the history books say about how this pandemic has changed the Navajo Nation? So you and I are part of that. Let's continue to write good things about what our history will be by your acting out, your voicing, your joining those that are working hard, whether it's cutting wood for your elders or for family members in your community, or joining those volunteer groups, bringing food and water and clothing to your people in your community. We will be a stronger nation for that. And lastly, I just wanted you to know too, as we all advocate for becoming a better, stronger Navajo Nation, tomorrow is Small Business Saturday. What is Small Business Saturday? Well, it started years ago, and as a private businessman, these are the days that we could really advocate for all of the Navajo-owned small businesses that are out on our Navajo Nation, right? The mom and pop shops, and even those that flourish in our flea markets. Small Business Saturday takes one day right after Black Friday, right? There's a reason they call it Black Friday. It gives us Navajos a black eye. At least the Navajo small businesses, all of our money pours into the border towns and into the metropolitan areas. but I get it, right? We're all looking for deals, but to be a stronger, more resilient society here on Navajo, we could honor Small Business Saturday a little bit more. Make sure you all should go and shop a small business here on Navajo. Leave a little bit of money, leave a little encouragement. Tell them you're standing strong with them, and you appreciate them, and you support them in your businesses. Tomorrow I'm going to head out and just go and shake hands of all of the small business owners and tell them I appreciate them. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being safe. You know, we've not heard of any outbreaks in these small businesses as we opened up. I always believe we could open up and recover safely, because guess what? Those small businesses in this pandemic, they were already devising plans on how to be safe. They were already devising plans of how to keep their customers and their employees safe. Because why? Well, their life depended on it. You see, when you support Navajo businesses, the money that they raise, they only get to keep a small piece of that profit. Even in our hardware businesses, 3 pennies out of every dollar we get to keep. I said, wow, you know, most people think our Navajo business owners are all rich and whatnot. You don't see Mercedes-Benz driving around. You don't see, a lot of the big, more expensive vehicles right now, because it's hard to do business here on Navajo. You know, take it from me. I've been entrenched in business for over 30 years. Our family's been in business for over almost 50 years. It takes a lot, and it's harder to do business here on Navajo. And so when you support small business here on Navajo, you're just telling them, thank you for bearing with this pandemic. Thank you for keeping us safe, and thank you. We're going to support you a little bit more, and you know what? We're all going to be the stronger for it. And so that's the message I have in this pandemic. We're going to be a stronger, more resilient people as we come out of this pandemic, and you all are going to benefit from it, because it is all hands on deck. We're going to be praying for you. We're going to reach out to you in some way. And then when many more join the fold, we're just going to be a stronger nation for it. So God bless you. Thank you for the time. I appreciate our president's bold and exemplary and staunch leadership for the people. You all are benefits of that. And the prayers of our leadership go forward to that we change and we become a better nation because of this pandemic. So thank you for your time, and we'll continue to pray for our grandmother out there. Hopefully she's okay. She did get a little bump on her head, but we're going to pray right now. Father, in Jesus' name, I pray that you would just touch our grandmother over there, that she would have no symptoms from the fall and hitting her head. In Jesus' name, that she will come out even stronger. May the blessings and may your blood, Lord, just pour over her. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Hallelujah. So at this time, who's our next speaker here? I guess we're kind of all volunteering to be the MC. So what we got here? All right, we have a song performance and presentation by Juliana Bigay Krupa. This is going to be virtual, but at this time here, I'd like to, I guess, signify that to our group here. So take it away. All right, it's virtual, so please look at the screen here.
Kut ego shahot tenzin. Yad nikidini donel. She yaha hos do. Te nikij adishne. Ade shagan kude shagan do shananishnaat. Ado kwaati hako dashadoni digi baahe winzen. President Jonathan Nez, Ado Vice President. Office of the President and Vice President So good morning to everyone. I shared my self-introduction and Dene, telling you about the clans that I use to tell about who I am. So I'm Red Running Into the Water People. I'm born for Blackstreet Wood People clan, and I am coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. And my English name is Jolana Bigay Kropa, And I'm thankful to be here this morning to share a little bit about what I am working on at the Phoenix Indian Center, and the language and culture programming that we have, that I'm very proud of. And so to all of our relatives on Denebikeya, good morning. It looks a little cold over there, nice and warm here in Phoenix. And so she'eyaha ba'altqa e nishne. So ans isiata e Window Rock Unified School District de Navajo Immersion Program wal Diego e ada istra ada e shazad de nebazad da bedi niniki e na adzoigi to ajoltra agi e bohol ako dish de e be incht ado benacha e shana nishnat e Arizona State University de Nashnish de Nepizad Navajo Language 101 Walyeniki beginning Ado Intermediate Navajo e Ad Eshananish Ashin Ado Stanford University de Alto Ad da Ultraiki no Seledan Liniki e Ad Alto de Nepizad Yita Hol Ako Ako Bahe Winzingo Nihizadigi Nana Phoenix Indian Center de Nishnat. So at the Phoenix Indian Center, I currently serve as the interim chief executive director, and I help to provide services for urban American Indian families that live in the Phoenix area. And so for our Dene people, there are thousands that live in the valley, in the Phoenix Valley. And at the Phoenix Indian Center, we provide language and culture programming to help them to stay connected to who they are and to also learn about their beautiful language through songs, through classes, workshops of various different areas. Today, I wanted to share a couple songs with you and also just kind of share the message that there are many of us Dene people that still are very excited and willing to learn Denebizad, even though we live far away from our ancestral heritage homelands. Sashin hik kote pos dogekeda hat edo dai Denebikeya donle ha'achiko edo dai naho konstrugo achiko shisat tabagant o fayu deneni kliniki. We do not maintain our livelihood on the Navajo reservation. However, language and culture remains near and dear to us, and it's important that we provide opportunities for our young people, especially to learn. And so the Navajo Heritage Day, so there's lots of things to be thankful for, and language is one of the ones, as our leader had just spoke about. And so one of the songs that I thought would be very appropriate to learn, that I sing and teach students, is grandparents' song. So I was very fortunate to have an upbringing and on the Navajo Nation, and learn, songs that still carry, that I carry today and teach my children. So this first song is grandparents' song. I hope that the sound quality is okay, but I'll go ahead and sing this very first song. Hala eya kono kake nihe masaneto nihe cheche nihlene hashewan hasheyate bojongo na shatole bojongo ne datole bojongo ne detole jenihlene nishi benina nihe tsotezen Ane hana dole. Ane hana dole. Leyana heineyo. So a really neat song that talks about the teachings from our elders. I am a mother, a manishle, ado etra. I have three beautiful sons. Sometimes they can be naughty, but they are also very excited about learning language. And this is one of the songs that we sing together where we are learning about, these teachings that we received from our grandparents, and they allow us to go forward in our lives, our daily lives, keeping those teachings that make us strong and that make us who we are. Ako ebenache sin hue huelonla so shanalian he used to tell me that you have to always carry song with you. And I tried to teach that to my small children that I have. I have three boys, and so I want to share self-introduction, so important. We learn, my children never had the opportunity to grow up on the Navajo Nation like, some of us did. And so self-introduction is really important. And at this time, I want to invite my young boy to share self-introduction. All right. So go ahead. That's it. Good. Nice and loud, please. Come on, Ken. Let's have your brother say his. Okay, right here, Ken. All right, ready? That's good.
Yatte touching is like Sunny Swift Pesachine Anjali Desiche Belagana Dashina Cat Uno Occupied Mission.
7 years old. He's been a little shy. But language, ben in the, especially being away from home, being away from our family. A lot of our family still live on the reservation, but we still learn and we still hold on to the important teachings that we have. So before bedtime, we would share some songs to really try to help us to maintain that identity, maintain that heritage. So I want to talk a little bit briefly on at the Phoenix Indian Center. We offer classes that are free, and there are virtual sessions that are available. If you are interested, please visit our website, Phoenix Indian Center, not Phoenix Indian Medical Center, but Phoenix Indian Center, where we're offering some winter storytelling, some so winter stories about the stars, and then coyote stories that we're offering. Ado, we're going to have Keshje in January. So I know a lot of our people from the Nebuchadnezzar would make their way. We're going to follow COVID safety. It's going to be outside. So in the valley, it's not as cold as it is on the Nebuchadnezzar. So we're going to offer Keshje to really try again to help us. So hearing the songs, hearing the language, it helps us to feel better and to continue in our daily lives. And so those are some of the offerings that we provide at the Phoenix Indian Center. Cool. And so I'll share two more songs, Ado. That will be my share for today. And so this next song that I'd like to sing is a song taken from Will Be in Your Mountains, Will Be in Your Songs, Ado. It's a song that can be sung anytime during the year. We have to be careful when we're sharing our songs that we sing only those that are, supposed to be, we're supposed to sing during certain times of the year. And this is also a song that we teach at our when we're doing our Navajo singing classes, because this song is really a way for us to remember our beautiful homeland. It's a beautiful place. When we make our way home to see our grandparents, we sing this song, or see family, or when we leave, it's a protector for us. Shekeya nejone benashni walya. Shekeya nejone benashni, shekeya nejone benashni. Kad nikid deshat nesen, kad nikini yaho aho hey neya, eneya ho aho hey neya, eneya ho aho aho hanga, eneya ho aho hey neya. Shekeya nejone benashni. Shekeya neshone benashni, ad nikid deshat nesen, ad nikini yaho aho hey neya, eneya ho aho hey neya, eneya ho aho aho hanga, eneya ho aho hey neya. Shekeya neshone benashni, shekeya neshone benashni. Kad nikid deshat nesen, kad nikini yaho aho hey neya. So that's also another song that we sing. Many of our students, they would say, we were singing this song as we saw Osli going back to Denebikeya, or we were singing this song as we were departing, leaving Denebikeya, going back to where we have our homes. So song that we sing, we carry with us. So really trying to help our urban Dene people maintain their self-identity. We even have songs that are sung around the holidays. And so as we close out this morning, I'd like to once more thank you for the opportunity to tune in on a virtual format. This is what makes that virtual piece a really neat opportunity. You get to learn more about what's happening in major urban cities like Phoenix. I encourage you to look up the Phoenix Indian Center to learn more about our offerings and classes that are provided. You can even tune in from the reservation. They're free as long as you have the internet. It's available. And so as we close out, I want to bring my two boys. We're learning some holiday songs, and we'll close out singing the Jingle Bells. So we'll sing that one. All right, you can come on this side. You can come on this side. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yo di a, yo di a, yo di o di a. Dola do yes be ni hips na na o bias. Yo di ta, yo di ta, ayo yo di ta. Dola do yes be ni hips na na o bias. Thank you so much for listening to my share. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Ado ada ada do denep bizad bitahos at ashonda ahead.
All right. Thank you, Jolana, so much. Okay, Vice President. Wonderful performance. Thank you.
atla til shekhulla akot educate nashle kodo yahat ya nanat en hidini dole kodo dan hinatligi daisnoltagi inde da ko et anolto ko khoni doningi inde da yaha konti yizligi be yaha kon di betens di dani dlinigi behani no but not di ko Native American Heritage Month wolgego shin ko biniya ko atla sidli akoba yehinsen she says nige ado inde da yaha kon ko nish inigi yaha kodon hich ken shlo yaha di ko hawan mazbi yeto na antkin hahilahi inde da yol sa dot sa di chitlu sa bashni sa khadin sa dit at be nasko net nijin be enit dole be yat eko o dat yat eko on sa kesa kot au yaha kodo be na hasesne ada inde da yaha ko akot au di elchina dan linigi akot out a kujon halo be yash hitla nikiz da bohol niki ol il niki na antkin niki ina anlini be da hol abedishno akot au yaha konshana nish di de nebach ken shlo inde da ya konshit atla atna khayj niki khad shato let ni khasazingo inde da niki yash kitla akot au yaha konshana nish akot inde da yaha kon sentla nakhandesh atnsen akot au ya kon inde da konshe shanan linigi adon hinat ani linigi President Jonathan Nez ado inde da Vice President Myron Lizer Division Director Ophelia Fowler in the ya kon Office of the President do Vice President ko enda nishingi nikido ahyahat nikidini dole ekot audi nikidina edan dinigi bandat nishdo ahyahat instingodishne akot di sinigi o atalyagi ende di amasana adshe do analit anit enikeda hollo akot di sin do to the zin na antkin ende dan hizad and linigi nasko yit etolet akot etle akot au shaban seskes di sinigi shin kodo tlat na handedesh atensen go adishne hey ane yang vacation vacation neyo shamasane otlan shanala yetisini vacation neyo shache bana antkin shache bana hara vacation neyo shanala ve otlan shanala yedisini vacation neyo na yejana antien wajonjana antien vacation neyo nada alkay atkin nada altsui atkin vacation neyo sa nagayashki big hojane et vacation neyo ako disanigi ahyat disanigi ayoshis najandi tsato kodoshi yaha ko bilaganak echagoshi ajago hadeste alto. You know, yat hello, my relatives from far and near. For those who are watching and tuning in on the World Wide Web, it is a great honor to be here with you today and to celebrate Native American Heritage Month. Not only this month, it should be every day as well. And so with that, you know, we have the president here and the vice president and all of our leaders who are recognizing this amazing month here with us and acknowledging the fact that we as Indigenous people are so strong as Navajo people, we are so strong. And we have shown that through our fight against this COVID-19 pandemic. And not only this pandemic, but we have shown it throughout times, countless amounts. And so with that being said, continue to be strong, continue to keep working with us to fight against this COVID-19 pandemic and keep moving forward and learning your language and learning our cultures and our ways of life. This is something that has always kept us strong as Navajo people, as the Net people, and as Indigenous people. We are all unique in our own way. We have our own relationships with the Creator and our holy ones, and so let us continue that strength moving forward. Let that be our strength to keep moving forward and being the prayers that our ancestors have prayed for us to be here. And so with that being said, thank you so much for being here today, for coming, and to Bear Son for coming back here to the Navajo Nation and doing his thank you tour all across the United States. It is such an honor for him to come back to us. We welcomed him when on his journey through, and he's thanking us on his journey back to his home. And so with that being said, thank you. Continue to keep wearing your mask, continue to keep social distancing, and then washing your hands and sanitizing your hands as well. And the daha ya kon nihilat halowash betada kis equeten go ya the hand sanitizer to ya hegi chodat out of the social distancing at all yahegi a thought ashon the back how kon shik a dos zan nothing according to go shin kodon hitch a ha seat do let ya ni hidini do let
Give her a big round of applause, everyone. And that was our Miss Navajo Nation Niagara Rock Bridge. And congratulations, Niagara, the Miss Navajo for 2021 and 2022. Yo, nas alaya. Did you guys watch some of that video? Oyo danashton sazinda. Shako Nihmado Nihjani Chini Masana. Ora Osunzene Tra Kodo Ajad Kodo Isish Nido Tra Aka Eshwet so. Here la Aroshi Ahota Aniyadaho Aya Oya Hashkajin Hijada Tio Niyadaho Akonde Eben Hitsido Ebe Naso Nijidini Kaso. Here la Masana Chain Nalano Lenigi. Amado je tashe andi hot out da notkin zone hot out jogot out ya naso nije inado bazna ya akonde na antinigi nasiti jo even na edichin hot out ada ilya Navajo Nation Heritage Day. So aro kododo nihawe Juliana Bigay Kropa edo nzonago hot khaldo ya balchiniyes. So hot out ya Nike ol into nikis sin to nina antin nasi tito let kodoshi kodo the host out at the jinkon hikeni da istsagi. So I wanted to also just say again in English again, I gotta switch it. We appreciate everybody for being here. I know that there's a long line outside of the zoo. We do still have to follow the 50% occupancy, so as people go out, people can come in. There's also some people that made it in to see Bear Son, so as well as to join us today for the Navajo Nation Heritage Day. So thank you so much. 12:30 again at the Navajo Nation Fairgrounds. Bear Son will be there as well. Not much restriction because as big as that place is, we can have a lot more people there to get a picture with Bear Son. So we appreciate him joining us today. So I'm going to turn the time over to our First Lady Cecilia Nez. She's been doing a lot for our families, talking about missing and murdered, missing persons, and also focusing back on our family. Jukodo ndani tinigi haganaz an and tinigi. Kodo Belina Shinigi for Philia. Yehanats do Edo Kodo Ben that no Tino Hanats. So by here. And this is my wife, everybody, First Lady Fafillionez. Give her a big round of applause.
Find the sunlight. No. Yate, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out here. Shaya Fafillionez, Gidishket Habahanishnet, Lesbasana Bashachi, Nakaidanaidash, and Nalodashache, Arotzin Sade, Agasi, Ade, Jeshike, Kodo, Kon Pai Sokagi, Komba, Ketanit, Zendo, Kon, Teddy Bear, the bear son, Kon, Totnaga, so. Thank you for coming out. Aro kuja istot Native American Heritage Month. The Net Heritage Month no kuja baho agi kon istot ba heta nitzen ko tadi ne hodo ati kon nike nan tindo nike zad kon ati na state eto ho ati nike kaya kon beka okay da huitsen istot ko yugo shin kon ba he Baki Wing Zinigi Kon Ahayu Aro Dana Shi Kon Junigo Taji Daoyan Do Sata Solin Eko Kodo Ati you're still wearing your mask, you're still social distancing. We don't have a lot of people in here, and that's something that we've always encouraged all of you to do, and we thank you for doing that. In terms of the Net Heritage Month, Kodo President and from Office of First Lady and Second Lady, Ahawan has Age, Mado Eje Itlinge Do and Zege. That is so fundamental and so essential. Kodo missing and murdered. That's what he said, right? And domestic violence and all of that. But if you really look at that, what is the solution to all of that? They opted launched it, right? You go back to the to the front end of that, and when you go talking about prevention, it comes from the household. Every graduation I go to, I speak to kids, whether they're graduating from 8th grade or from 12th grade. I always tell them, one day you're going to be a parent, a mom and a dad. But at the same time, we also need to be encouraging them to pursue their education, to find employment, to always be employed, to think about what profession they're going to go into, and then also to keep in mind that they need to have a home and a house for the day that they're married and the day that they decide to bring children into this world. That's so important for us to instill in our children and in our grandchildren. That's really where my prayer and my hope is for the future generations. Thank you again for being here, and then I'm here to introduce the main attraction, I guess, for today, and that is Bear's son. He came through a couple of months ago and made his way to New York City, and I'm going to give it to him to tell you all what that whole walk was for and what his next project will be. So here you go, Bear's son.
Feed me the mic. There you go. Oh, this was wireless. All right, cool. How's everybody doing? Good? Good? That's right. I mean, I'm tired. I'm just kidding. It does feel weird though driving back, after walking for 134 days. So yeah. Thanks for having me back. It's good to be back, visiting a lot of familiar faces that I walk with here at the reservation. Started off in Loop, came all the way through Window Rock into Mexico and into, I guess, I didn't know what I was walking into, to be honest. So, it was nuts. Yeah, I was just looking at my phone and my phone was like, go that way. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, man, thanks for having me over. I love being here, second time around. Same good feelings, same very good energy. So I'm stoked. And then yesterday, I got to sit down with the president and his family, and celebrated Thanksgiving. So I didn't realize I was celebrating Thanksgiving until people were like, "Hey, yo, happy Thanksgiving!" I was like, "Oh, cool," But yeah, thank you guys for having me over. Let's see here. So I finished as obviously I finished. I'm trying to see where to start. God. Yeah, I'm gonna be running across the country next again. That starts July 1st of next year, and I'm dedicating that run to the vets, veterans that suffer from either PTSD, suicide awareness, mental health, or just anybody that's going through any of that. So, and I got that that came up. It came to me because I was actually walking through the reservation. I met a gentleman in Delcon, at the school, and he's a counselor there, I believe, or a teacher, and he was just telling me his story, and that's when it pretty much started, I guess, I started paying more attention to it as I was walking across the country. I met a lot of veterans, young women, men, and you never come back the same. And just sitting on that concept, right? Mental health, they develop a mindset that it's hard to break down or come down from, and sometimes it's hard for them to share that with their families and friends, so they hold on to it, and it's tough. So, and then I was able to kind of correlate with that, because I had to develop a certain mindset, to continue walking every single day for those 134 days. It was tough, especially I think the hardest times were from California all the way towards the end of New Mexico, only because it took me that long to at least understand that mindset of hey, you need to you're gonna walk every single day miles and miles and miles and miles in this, right? In this to make it even more difficult, and it's tough developing a mindset and coming down on. I mean, I admit it, I haven't coming back home, I realized I wanted to visit people, but I kind of still wanted to be alone, because I was still in that mindset of go. So it's tough even, my friends have been putting up with it. They're like, weren't you supposed to stop here? I'm like, just keep driving, I admit it, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I skipped a few towns, only because I in my mind I still kind of wanted to be alone, even with my friends being there with me, I still wanted to my mind kept telling me, you got to keep going. Even when I got to New York, I didn't feel like I finished. I mean, I finished, right? I got there, there you go. Hey, and it was cool, it was cool watching everybody excited, and they're like, yeah, he finished, and I was like, everybody be quiet, hold on, let me feel that too. And my brain was like, nah, you're not done. You're not done, we got to keep going. And that's what I decided to do, and I listened to my brain, and I was like, okay, you want to keep going? Okay, I'm all in, let's go. So so it's tough. Mental health is a real thing, guys. It's real as everyone here. If you don't understand it, it's all good. It takes time to understand that. Same thing, cancer, autism, everything that I walk for, people that can't, unfortunately are born without the abilities to walk, see, hear, all that, and we're fortunate to, have that. Let's not throw it away, it's kind of, we could all do better every single day, dude. That's what I tell myself. I wake up and I'm like, you could do better, I challenge myself. It's me versus me. I never look at it like a competition versus another human. I challenge myself, that's it, dude. I just want to, beat myself every day. So much, there's so much, but I still can't put it into words, unfortunately. It takes a while. I have to get in it, right? I have to get in my mind and clear it out and be able to share that experience. But I'll continue to share as much as I can, as I start to realize that, you know, I finished. But no, it was wonderful being here. And like I said, I was talking to the president yesterday. I was like, I didn't understand at first why you guys love this so much, right? I was like, why are they following me? Like, I'm just trying to, like, all right, cool. Like, it's cool because they're smiling, having a good time. That's what I wanted, you know. And then I realized even after I left the, you know, I was like probably like in Ohio, and I was like, oh, I know why I connected with all you guys, because you guys took me seriously as much as I took myself seriously, because, you know, so that I appreciate, you know. You guys saw more than what others saw sometimes. You guys saw beyond that. So yeah, that's why I have a lot of respect for how you guys, your culture, and, you know, the way you guys go about life. I'm still learning. I can't say I know it all, so I'll keep learning. You know, there's so much more to learn. I hate that word. I know it. I know. Stop using that word. We don't know. You know, so it's good. It's good. You know, I'm excited to be here. This is probably the only stop that I made for longer than 2 hours. So hey, I had man. Actually, you know what? I haven't had a taco yet, but I had the fried bread. That was delicious. You know, I had a coma last night. I fell asleep really well. My friends too. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. You know, and yeah, thank you guys for, you know, welcoming them. You know, welcoming my friends. You know, even though they weren't invited. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I hope I can continue to bring whatever I can to you guys. And likewise, you know, I feel like I learned a lot from you guys as well. So thank you guys for, you know, thank you guys for just letting me in, inviting me, and treating me like family. You know, I appreciate you guys. Yeah. So now I have to go and sleep with my bears over there, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Throw them in the bear cage. No, don't do that. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later at the fairgrounds. Back to the president.
All right. Well, thank you again. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. From California to New York. Man, that is a long trek. Also highlighting the needs of not just these folks, these organizations, or these causes, but really to bring hope and joy to our United States, right? I mean, in a time where COVID-19 has really got us inside, we appreciate Bear Son getting us outside, right? Walking along, right, with him all the way through. We did our very best to continue to fuel him along the way, and we very much appreciate what he's doing. And he was mentioning PTSD and veterans. You know, we're going to be teaming up with Bear Son on his run across the country to highlight the need for Navajo Nation or our Navajo veterans with PTSD as well. So you know that's a need in our communities, and we're going to be. How many of us want him to run through the Navajo Nation next year? All right, yeah. So you got no choice, Bear Son. You know what? I'm gonna start my training too, Jesse. I'm gonna start my training and run across, get some miles in too for the cause. So again, give him a big round of applause, everybody. Bear Son. All right, and Bear Son is sticking around for another 3 more hours. So those of you that are watching right now, you're saying, man, I can't get into the zoo. You know, we're going to be at the Window Rock Fairgrounds at about 12:30, and you can get a picture with them. But please just let the folks know the vaccination requirement, as well as wear your mask over there too as well, okay? You know what? This is going to probably be the future, everyone. I hate to say it. We're going to have to start showing our vaccination cards. we're going to probably have to keep wearing masks until all of us kind of take this virus seriously, right? But you know what, Bear Son, thank you so much for a job well done. Welcome back to the great Navajo Nation, Bear Son. All right. Bear Son right here. All right. So Bear Son will be coming back down. There's some people wanting to get photos. So we're going to transition to the zoo now. And David is here, who is the director of the zoo. There's some improvements. I don't know if you noticed that. Some of you probably just wanted to see Bear Son and never didn't even see the improvements. It's all the way over here. But there are some improvements, and you know, we're going to be doing a lot more here at the zoo. Do you guys love to be at the zoo? How was the first time at the zoo? Wow. You know, and what I think, Bear Son, I think the bear, what was the bear's name? David? Sandy? Abby. Abby might want to get a picture with Bear Son today. Abby the bear. All right, David, come on over. Give David a round of applause. He's the zoo director here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Today is the day after Thanksgiving. Is it okay I speak without the mask on? Okay. I feel like I'm very muffled with the mask on. I want to welcome you all here today. Thank you for coming out. It's very exciting to see a crowd here. We have been under COVID conditions for almost 2 years and been limited in our numbers, and we were closed for almost a whole year completely. So it's very exciting to see a lot of people here today. And yes, I just wanted to say I'm very thankful. Office of the President, Mr. President, First Lady, Vice President, Second Lady, they have been, Miss Navajo, thank you all for being here. I was very excited to hear that they wanted to do the event here at the Navajo Nation Zoo. You know, we've been without being able to do our Zubu event for 2 years now, and we feel kind of left out. Feel like, you know, maybe people have forgotten how wonderful the zoo is. But I do want to share with you some of the things that have changed here. As you know, this year was our 5-year anniversary for our Eagle Sanctuary. July 1st, 2016, we opened the sanctuary and we continue to operate that. We now have 16 golden eagles in the Eagle Sanctuary, and of course all of them are injured and non-releasable. And I think all of you may know that if you want, you can apply for feathers. We have an application process. It's on our website. You can also go to the Department of Fish and Wildlife and obtain a application there. All you need to do is supply a copy of your driver's license, copy of your CIB, and everything is free. You get live eagle feathers, live in quotes, of course. So please take advantage of that. One of the things, transitioning here, one of the things that we are working on diligently is transitioning the zoo into the future. And a couple of the projects that you may have noticed, actually we started down here at the foxes and the bird enclosure, the hawk enclosure. If you go down and look inside of the enclosure, you're going to see that you can see through the enclosure wall much easier because it's a new material called wire mesh. Instead of chain link, it's wire mesh. And so you can see through it easier, you can take pictures through it easier, and it makes for a much better visitor experience. And so I'm hoping before I retire from here that all of our enclosure fronts are going to be with wire mesh, so that the visitors have a much better viewing experience. And if you've been around the zoo today, you may have noticed that our wolves are no longer here. Both of our wolves are now at their official retirement center, which is down in Scottsdale, Arizona. They were, we had requested to move them down there so that we could renovate that enclosure. So if you come back in about maybe 3 months, we're going to have, again, wire mesh. We're going to have a much better enclosure that's going to allow you to see the wolves much better. So we're very excited about that. And I did want to give a shout out. All of you online or here in person, you know, not only am I thankful to the Office of the President, Mr. President, for being here, but I'm also very thankful for my staff. My staff is what make all of this possible. Today is a holiday. I had 4 of the staff just say, yep, I'll be there. Let's, you know, because we have to feed our animals every day. So very thankful to them. Not only are they the staff that take care of the animals every day, but they also are in charge of doing the renovations and doing the modifications to the zoo to make it better for the animals or for the visitors. One of our big projects that I'm really hoping, we have a shovel-ready project for a restroom. Not very glorious, but we're hoping for a big restroom down at the entrance so that for school buses, when they come with, you know, full of school students, they can, you know, there's a restroom right there. If they come from an hour away, you know what they, you know what's necessary. And of course, it's going to have to be ADA compliant. Ours is not quite yet. And so it'll be much more convenient. And it's a big money project, but it's necessary. So we're really hoping to have that started this year. The other thing that's really exciting, actually, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on Monday, we have a company coming in and they're going to be finishing our playground. What that means is we have that vacant spot just on the southwest corner that we're going to be putting in 2 new components there. And we're going to be squaring off the playground. Everything is going to be perfect. So we're very excited to have a completed playground here. And as of probably Tuesday, that should be completed. So I just wanted to, again, say thank you all for coming out. I hope that you come as frequently as you can. Come to the zoo, see the animals, say hi to the staff. You know, we work hard every day to make sure that the animals are taken very good care of. As you know, as you probably know, the Navajo Zoo, we consider it a sanctuary for animals, because almost every animal here is here because it can no longer live in the wild. They were either orphaned, they were injured, some of them were both. For example, Boomer, our big old elk who feels like he's got to guard his whole enclosure right now, his mom actually stepped on his leg and broke it right after he was born. He was unable to keep up with the mom. Thankfully, he was found by hikers. He was brought to a rehabilitation center, and today he's a wonderful exhibit animal for us here. He's a little feisty this time of year, but he's a great animal. So I want to thank you all for coming out today again, and come frequently and enjoy your Navajo Nation Zoo.
All right, thank you, David. That's David McKessick, who oversees the zoo. So now that you see some of the improvements, there's a lot more improvements that are planned. You know, bring out your families. The zoo is open, as he said, throughout the week. A lot of great animals here at the Navajo Nation Zoo. So thank you, David. So here we go. We have our next performer who's going to be doing it virtually. Cali Bennett is from Kaitbitwa, western part of the Navajo Nation, and we have seen her blossom in her career as a performer, and she is now doing a lot of great work on behalf of the Navajo Nation. You know, when it comes to the Navajo Nation Heritage Day, you know, we heard some traditional songs, some Christmas songs in Navajo, and we also have some Christian songs in Navajo as well, right? And that is a part of our heritage going into the future. So, you know, with Cali being in the forefront of being an artist, a Christian performer, we appreciate her highlighting the Navajo Nation in these during these trying times. So what we'll do is we'll give the time over to Cali Bennett. If you see the screen here, Cali. turn it over to you. Let's give her a big round of applause, everybody.
Yat everyone. Yat Bennett, it's good to be here with you all. It's an honor, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope you guys can hear me. So please allow me to formally introduce myself in our Dene Navajo language. She'eya tachitni nishla ashiha bashashinkia ani dashache bipatot ni dashanella Cali Bennett dashajin abatot nasha. So for those of you that might not that might be tuning in through Facebook or on YouTube Live, what I just said is our formal greeting in our Navajo Dene language. I said, I am the Red Running into Water clan, born for the Salt People clan. My maternal grandfather's clan is the Towering House clan, and my paternal grandfather's clan is the Deerwater clan. And people call me Cali Bennett. I'm of the Western Agency in the just outside of Tuba City area, and so it's an honor to be here with you all. God bless you. I'm going to sing a few songs, and I just want to thank the Navajo Nation, thank President Nez and Myron Lizer, Vice President, for allowing me to share some songs, and I pray that you all are blessed, and I pray that you guys had a blessed Thanksgiving as well. So happy Thanksgiving week to everyone. Happy holidays and Merry Keshmish, as we say in Navajo. So at this time, I'm going to sing some songs from my latest album, from my album Awake, Arise, Shine. And the first song I'm going to share is called All Nations, Tribes, and Tongues. It's one of my favorite songs to sing. It has such a powerful message, and I hope you guys truly enjoy. This is All Nations, Tribes, and Tongues. All nations, yeah. All nations, tribes, and tongues come together under one sun. All nations, tribes, and tongues join together equal as one. All nations, tribes, and tongues share the message of our love. All nations, tribes, and tongues, every color, race, everyone. All nations, a message for every person under heaven. Share a helping hand to those around. Always lend if someone needs to borrow. Open up your eyes, look around and see. Give to those in need, show compassion. Be the light we so rarely see. Give from the heart, show your mercy. All nations, tribes, and tongues come together under one sun. All nations, tribes, and tongues join together equal as one. All nations, tribes, and tongues share the message of our love. All nations, tribes, and tongues, every color, each and every one. Yeah. Yeah. All nations. We must join in love. We must join in love, away from hate, a prayer to change and to reach the world we know. Away from pain, away from shame. Let us grow. Let us go on from the past. We have kept a hold on, 'cause we can't change a world alone. On our own, all nations, tribes, and tongues come together under one sun. All nations, tribes, and tongues join together equal as one. All nations, tribes, and tongues share the message of our love. All nations, tribes, and tongues, every color, race, everyone. Yeah, yeah, unspoken. Let us hear your music now. Let's sing it. Let every color under heaven have a voice that is not unspoken. Let us hear your music now. All nations, tribes, and tongues. All nations, tribes, and tongues. Yeah. All nations, tribes, and tongues together under one sun. All nations, tribes, and tongues join together, equal as one. All nations, tribes, and tongues share the message of our love. All nations, tribes, and tongues, every color, race, everyone. Let no one be forgotten in this race, in this life we're living. Let none be put out. Let every color under heaven have a voice that is not unspoken. Let us hear your music now. All together, all nations, tribes, and tongues. Let's sing it. If you're watching online, all nations, tribes, and tongues. Just sing it with me. Simple part. All nations, tribes, and tongues. We declare it over our Navajo nation. All nations, tribes, and tongues. And one more time. All nations, tribes, and tongues come together under one sun. All nations, tribes, and tongues join together, equal as one. All nations, tribes, and tongues share the message of our love. All nations, tribes, and tongues, every color, race, everyone. All nations, tribes, and tongues. Thank you, Shahat. So that's a song from my album Awake, Arise, Shine, and it talks about how we need to come together in unity, and it ties in with what everyone's sharing today about being community, being together, sharing that love, and encouraging one another with that light and with that love. So I pray that it bless you today. And with this next song I wrote, I had the amazing honor of having Mr. Larry Dunn himself from the world-renowned, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Do you remember September? Do you remember, the September song? And so he is one of the original members of that band, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And you have to listen to him on my track. But I wanted to sing this song live for you all about, retaining our hope, encouraging ourselves in hope. And so this song is entitled Hope. And you can hear this song with Mr. Larry Dunn playing on his amazing keyboard and everything on my album, Wake, Arise, Shine. It's on iTunes, CaliBennett.com, Spotify, YouTube. So listen to it. But I hope you guys enjoy the song today, and I hope it encourages you all out there with hope. So this is called Hope. Woo, yeah, yeah. I tell you about my expectations and some of my dreams. We all have their ups and downs and in-betweens. But I made a choice to never let go. Even in the darkest times, I had this hope. Oh, oh, oh. Anchor for my soul. Hope, hope. Never letting go. No, 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 no. Hope, hope, hope. Oh, watch it grow. Hope, hope, hope. came what I know. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Never lose hope. Listen. Fear thought he had me down, but I arose. Had all these chains to bind me, but they broke. Now I'll rise to the top. I won't go low. Oh, because I've got hope. I know. Oh, oh, oh. Anchor for my soul. Oh, oh, oh. Never letting go, let go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, watch it grow. Oh, oh, oh. Came what I know. All of these expectations. All of these unlit dreams. Hope out of love brought forth these things. Combined with faith, I believe. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Anchor for my soul. Oh, oh. Never letting go, let go. Oh, oh, oh. I'll watch it grow. Oh, oh. Came what I know. Oh, oh. One more time. Anchor for my soul. Oh, 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 never letting go, no. Oh, 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 watch it grow. Oh, 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 came what I know. So thank you guys so much. And for the final song, the song I wanted to share with you guys is called Silent Night. And of course, with it being Christmas and the holidays, I really wanted to share a Christmas song with you also. I pray it blesses you guys as well. So this is Silent Night in English and our Navajo Dene language. So enjoy. Let me grab a drink of water here. Ooh. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round the young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly. Oh, it's a oh, deed. Charge, yes, a dead deed. Desí yo go away as bush ya she be it there. Jesus beta benish on silent night, holy night. Oh, shepherds quake at the sight. Glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ our Savior is born. Christ our Savior is born. Oh, it's a down. Oh, the child. Yo eldo da nekadida isan da dieni da hada Christ yes da inishi deho kage bedeshi and silence night, holy night, oh Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. And though it's a oh, thee, oh, so early, their whole air. Not ani betchen atieni besh dawit ash Christ yes ta inishi deho kake betesh deho kake betesh. Oh, God bless you all and pray you have a great Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, Cali.
Cali.
Appreciate the shout out there.
Shout out there.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you had a great,
Thanksgiving
there as well.
Elson,
your family there. Yeah, beautiful sounds there coming from Miss Cali Bennett there. So hit her up on iTunes, as she said, and SoundCloud. What a beautiful voice. A beautiful rendition of Silent Night. Pretty awesome. Vice President Elijah here. We are rounding down the agenda here, our items here. What we do have here is coming up next, a presentation on Tenepesat. Here is Dr. Andy Nez here is going to be giving you a presentation. So hopefully you're still with us here on the WebEx, the virtual meeting for the Navajo Nation Heritage Proclamation signing that was done today. So without further ado, and Dr. Nez, are you ready to go? All right, so take it away, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Andy Nez.
Do di lin abikje sheik oge enish khorchini e basishin ado khachini e dashe dog asche e dashnale aron da tsahot so do na ha khoshgo e tsetli yasi khata hojne oko ade chishikedo e ade at kewishte aro in the da kwaiki a hiat bidishni do letla office of president and vice president as well as their staff. Die Khadidzi shidot nido als isot the nessa dinigi because don here utlinki benachi or call by hinsin jo in the da be yasht adon da konbeg elchido yinchkao shilbazin a kodoat shilbazin da shamasan huti nithan there he ad yilbazin be shil hodne shidot nil boko. This is a nenny glon a put art and the yitahwit a betahwit ako yat eto ya nana dole arati kwaiki di hatsishkiji no kwaiki de zeroni kaho ba he ba behel ni no ako kwaiki eto de nani klon tsa allange elsa de nani klon do belash kleini klon do ni hukat di in de nani klon kot ya ni salado kwaiki ni gade de teo ako ba he being thankful and admiring one's identity as a Dene person and as a five-fingered being and as a child of Mother Earth, and being able to be in this environment of not only recognizing November as Native American Heritage Month, but as Dene people. And each day we are greeted by the sun, and each evening we are, whisked away and resting in the moonlight. And so we interact with these elements on a daily basis. Akoko, when we do so, we recognize what they offer us. Aro e banachalto, we give back to what is being provided to us in terms of the elements that are provided to us here. And so we move forward and we move on in life and understanding these concepts and the nechalon alto, the reciprocity that is involved with the things that we are given and then we give them back. And so in that sense, when we recognize Native American Heritage Month outside of November being Dene as well, epic eho alto ekwat e ya and we recognize the value that we each have and that we give on to others. And so that's something that we hold dear to ourselves as we move forward in the work that we do. Shi amma ajaetan tliniki to amasan cheda to nalaketan tliniki. We recognize and we give these to our students or our children. And I was a former Dene language and culture teacher, and so I had a lot of time to develop as an educator and continue to develop as an educator. And so most recently, I started a consulting business called ANES Consulting, and it's nothing you can Google at the moment. That's how early it is. It's fairly new and it just barely started. But being able to be a speaker of our language, being able to read and write our language has given me the ability to be very creative in a lot of different ways so that our children can be able to learn the language in as little or as much as they possibly can. Jo e what e napinitan di na khalchina khosla be yedel tio di ni hazargi be yedel tia be yan tia bohol tapednitla. And this is just a way for myself to share that. And I've learned the language at a young age from my grandmother and from my aunt. Shamasan do shamayajasa kohle. Le open isia da shingo hojijo biket hat shathon le kenaltato kenaltago ero down le dato ako aju hat shao e nihizarigi be yadail tio. Shanathia yedil o shanathan dan nisho. And in high school, I went to school at Navajo Pine High School and learned how to read and write there. As a language speaker, I think it allowed me to catch on fairly easy when you read and write. And so being able to show that with people now and to share that with our relatives. And so my consulting business, a lot of the work I do is pro bono, meaning I don't charge a lot. Again, going back to in the teachings of reciprocity, you give back the things that you've learned and give back, without a price, unless of course it involves like extensive research and, a lot of the labor and stuff like that, then it'll come with some negotiation. But for the most part, you give and you share and you give back. And, we're coming upon the time where family is very central. We have a lot of different types of celebrations that happen this time of the year. Koko, just be aware of those types of things that come up. And so I did want to share. I know I don't think that the folks in Winderat lay I thought, some of you probably already made your way to the fairgrounds. I've seen that it was kind of emptying out, but I know we do have some viewers online the base been case will be and lay YouTube or we have an audience there as well. And so I wanted to share just a few things about my consulting business and in a way that I project being Dene and who we are in some of those teachings, because it's not only for our kids, it's for our grandparents who are raising their grandchildren to school. And so, we have to make those connections. You are learning the language as well. And so they learn those, they learn to read and write them. And so the things that I do with my consulting business is to try and make those relationships as well with just not only the student, but with their environment at home and with their grandparents. And so we must be very cognizant of that. And so I do a series of different activities. I do a series of different worksheets and speaking on different subjects. I don't know everything. There are some times where I'm asked to speak on a certain subject and I know little about it. And so I respectfully decline those. They'll ask me to speak on certain things that you can't talk about certain times of the year. Songs are only pertinent to certain times of the season, so we have to be very cautious of what we release out there on the World Wide Web, because we have a lot of different audience beyond this who would be able to come across this. So be respectful and kind and be very cognizant of that. And so I do a lot of transcriptions because I'm able to read and write. So I translate a lot of different types of services. We do have COVID-19 and the pandemic that has really shifted our way of delivering to our audience. And so a lot of flyers, a lot of audio have come through my lane to where I'm able to translate that. And deed that kosensaginast aids ada hai I leithnedo heid ya hatens and lay tajaraho. When you're out in the community, what do you do? How do you recognize? How do you stay safe? Translating those for our communities, audio-wise too as well, because some folks they can't read and they're learning that process now. And there's a documentary called Moroni for President. It was released in 2018, and so I helped to do a lot of those translations. Those conversations in Navajo, I helped to translate some of that. And so I do those presentations and then translation work. I was given a translation on a lyric to a song that talked about those really heavy metal rock music, and the lyrics, I won't say what they are, but I'm thinking you guys can probably understand sort of the context there, which we are forbidden to talk about and openly discuss. So things like that. So I'm very hesitant, or not hesitant, but cautious on what I allow my business to do. And the other thing, the most exciting part that I do is the language part, the interaction with the end users, and being able to come up with different things that would be able to help them learn conversational Navajo. In the classroom nowadays, we still see, what color is this? Those colors, they go through numbers. And that's at an early, classes around kindergarten, first, second grade, middle school, high school, they're learning to say Navajo colors and animals and things like that. And so it's like, how do you create speakers, conventional conversational speakers that they're able to say not just a number that they see or an animal that they recognize, but to be able to say, for example, dog. If we just show them a card that says dog and Thechan, they're just remembering what that is. But how do we make a sentence for them? Thechan or Thechan, that is a dog, or I saw a dog, or Thechan, I have a dog. And building those vocabulary words for them so that they can use it interchangeably based on the context. I have a pen that writes, right? So things like that I have, it's in my possession, right? And so those types of activities, I do what is called the language in seconds. For those of you who are familiar with my TikTok or my Facebook, I do little videos where I share some brief content, and it's called in seconds because that's the time, the attention span of some of our kids. You know, we all give our children and our students phones, whether at the dinner table, whether they're being loud and we wanted to silence them, right? We're all, some of folks are guilty of that. You see them everywhere in the grocery store, the restaurants and things like that. But their attention spans are seconds, right? They're not going to watch a 3-minute video. They're not going to watch a 2-minute video, but they'll see sort of a brief content for 10 to 15 seconds. They'll swipe up. They'll swipe up. So what can I do in that brief seconds for them to learn? I think about that. I think about what they're familiar. I'm not going to give them something I was given one time to translate pom-poms. But as Navajos, we never really had pom-poms. There's certain things in Belagana Chico, how they think, what they do. That's different to us. We think about them differently. I think about those things, and then I translate them into things that, you know, they're going to come across at home or come across at the store or at school. So that way they're familiar with it and they actively see it among themselves. This here is an example that I have. And I'm going to show you off of my phone. I hope the sound is okay. Seconds continues. First person, Asha, I am eating. Asha, I am eating. So iya, I am done eating. So iya, I am done eating. Nani chad, I am full. Nani chad, I am full. Yeah. So with that, Banathishleho, I'm doing multiple things. Banathishleho, I'm doing it in front of them. If I say Asha and I remind them it's eating Asha, Ara Bekedo e Nani chad. You know, I move it away. Or Atsoiya, I'm done eating. Atsoiya, I show them an empty bowl of the oatmeal I had. Atsoiya, and I pronunciate it for them. Aro e nani cha, I'm full. It's a process that they're familiar with. It's something that they are learning at home and being able to see the word, but seeing it in practice as well. And so I do those videos to help them, you know, familiarize and being able to adopt a lot of those vocabulary words for themselves. And so that's an example that I do with on my Facebook as well as my TikTok. And I'm currently in the beginning phase of doing the website development and all of that good stuff. So that way I don't have like 400, 500 friend requests from random people, right? Being able to just have them resort to a website so that they're able to participate in these activities that I do, or even listen in on some of those videos. And so the last thing here that I just want to share briefly, I know we're well over time, but I want to be able to share I want to be able to share an activity that I do that I've created to help students. And if somebody can let me know that you're able to see this. Ashhold, are we able to see that? I'm not sure if you're able to see that, but I know, again, I know this is on YouTube, so I'm going to go through with it. It's also being recorded, so I'm going to go through with it. So here is an example that I have. It's basically showing emojis. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with emojis, when you're texting and you have these little these little faces show up. Aeolia emoji. And so I created a storyline using those emojis. Again, these are what students are familiar with. If they text it, they use it. And so I created little storylines. I put blank words underneath it to provide a complete sentence to that storyline. And so this activity shows those pictures of the emojis. There's blank lines. What would they put into those blank lines? The neck the neck how would you translate that into Navajo? And so here is an example I'm going to share. Di kwaeki des kidiki he hai yahadne. So in the dako hai the space aron that you have the second emoji there. And so it's going to be 3 words. Ta'o kwaeki dato zotole. Aro hai kwaeki na kido eshe hai yahadne. Ishja a ta oteya kwaeki yadi jizozo. You're only going to write down 3 words in this blank line. But what is this emoji, this storyline telling you? And so I'm going to move through this quicker, because I know we're wrapping up on time, but this would take some time for them to think, to guess. You hear all their creative responses. I like popcorn. They will know and realize I like popcorn. And then you recognize that it's in first person. How would you translate this in Navajo? Bansis case, think about it. Even if you get if you know just that portion, popcorn, if you know that, and then being able to help them walk through it so that they're able to say, Na da del choshe shitlakan. And you explain it to them. Na da is a corn. Del choshe is the activeness of that corn being popping. Del choshe shith. You point at yourself because it's first person. Shith lekan. I like it. Na da del choshe shith lekan. I like popcorn. And then we'll just do one more example. Aro dirikisha. You know what? There's blank lines here, 6 of them. What would you write in there based on this? You let them think. You hear all their responses, walk them through it. I do not want the apple. But you know, you lead him up to Belasana Dormicinda. And you explain it again, Belasana Dormicinda. I do not want the apple. And then it's not just food as well, using different emojis, different storylines. I am herding sheep. Not nshkad. And you just move forward with those activities. I'll show you one more. Being able to use this here. I bought some candy. Things like that, and moving to that with them. Because, like I said, being able to do activities that they're familiar with, being able to share that so that they're building their vocabulary skills. And that's what I do. A lot of I do work, but a lot of my free time I also devote that to teaching language, doing translation services for students, even helping with students during the pandemic. I know we're still in the pandemic now, but being able to do some of those for our students who reach out to me over the phone or on Messenger. And so Mr. President, Ado Kedej Stahiki, Mr. Lizer, Ado Nishiki, Do Nida Chris Aden, Nikandi, what should know what Benanch Tindi San Liniki do Zida Ni what the Nenigle, A large eagle, ado hot ya san linigui do ni e o siki e hot chtin a ko ba hidle aron da ba hinsen ado di hot shamasan benantin at a ko ba hinsen ado hot ya chtin di DJ ako here ade dash no so agi do ade ni hit no natliki do ye go ya da hosya dit ande josh do yit in yin hat do ako ba ha no sin hit is ne case ne na ban da case ba ha no sin da hosya here ade agone.
Oh, yeah. Andy, Dr. Nez. Diego, Dr. Nez. We appreciate that. Thank you for that lesson in the Nebazad. Appreciate it. So may God bless you as well. I hope your Thanksgiving was great as well. Yeah. Vice President Elijah here. We have two more events on our agenda here. Song performance by Tylee Lee and closing remarks by our own Dr. Ophelia Fowler here, our Executive Director of our Human Resources. So with that here, Tylee Lee's going to do a song performance here, and I believe he's ready to go. So we appreciate him for sticking it out with us here. Had a great event here over at the Navajo Nation Zoo here, where it is Navajo Nation Heritage Day. Had quite a few, 50% capacity of people here that was able to witness and hear President Nez, First Lady, Ophelia Fowler, and also just myself giving some remarks, and then the zoo director David McKissick. He gave his updates here, and some things that are happening here. A lot of planning going on here. Going to enlarge the playgrounds, but also planning for a future project of bathroom addition there. Planning that for budgetary reasons there. And then one thing that I am advocating for too. I see a zip line here coming from some of the red rocks up here all the way down here. Maybe dropping its riders off here at the zoo or even at the museum, and what a family event that would be here, and also aiding tourism to come out here and to enjoy all of the animals, all of the sights and sounds of our Navajo Nation Zoo. What a great place to be, as it has been today. So the event looks like has moved over to the fairgrounds right now. Bear Son has made his exodus to the fairgrounds, and they'll be meeting the public with more picture opportunities for those that are happening right now. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mr. Tylee Lee is going to be giving a song performance. Beautiful music here, and we appreciate it. So without further ado, Tylee, take it away.
Can you guys see me? Okay. Ya te ano sponge ya Tylee Tom inch ya kapa hanchle kachi ni bashin do my dish gives ni dash do ashin he additional beats a good deal in Nasha do I'm also known as White Valley, as you guys already know. So ya te ano I'm here to share a couple songs with you guys, a few songs. So hopefully you guys enjoy do God hold shiki in le con the Nebanat skin don't sound quite a baby honey don't be the seats. So a quite a sin la ashla that did na kina haya that's it a shama dosh benashni a that gia Thanksgiving. So a quite a hundred so a decent behat the shia doshin clashing it's on the house kai a shin quite a Nakape hotish kat ado nana beke do gishin nana dole yeah. Edi na kina khayata shla. Ano bekedo eya shi na dan long de to haji le de. Edi ki eya didi etai la jo kwa ege tahoni ka na ni ado kon hajin sun ben ki ta ya ho ehiki shi ban na kwa ege eya hatella. Eya jib na khabe na hashtrato. Hey, 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 Ekeha ano so ato ya kwake ekede bena hote chaligi ya asponjo hojon da hasli dole ondishne ado ko ya shatli beta hosa hatra dan lini ado na akretan da ijni da o yije da has kwake shi o ben hitra ya da hot hegi ben ya ko ya نخهش آدم هیچ جشتی او خیلی هست توی تو سامی هم وقت نهاز خانگی اسلام بعدش آدم حسن سوچ کن یا جنو گونان بی هدی خا آدم کن که زی بدن نفال آدم که لطفا کیس آدم تا هشیا ده که اگه بین هیچ استان نادش لی ده کوی دشی به هستی ده کوی دشی آج او تا هشیا آدم کن جنو الكتاتوت آدم که لطفا کیس آدم که نیبک است که اتا اونان جان داله آدم آهات آگو کن یا که نیال کالا که اگه دیشی کید نخبه نهادش Here Arnold that is also agido quite a hole, Jashiki Ado or Dada Hosia, Ado Anihini, the Taskia, Ado Con Eyan Nihila Atra, Takisto Dada Hosia, as Tweeto Sani Bata Hosia, Ado Sashi Ahomagi Asahona has Tranegi Esto Shapik at that not e contest as the Hashij. What are Eyanikit not this Don Hana, Hashalo, to Ehe Ado Quake. President, Office of the President and Vice President to hihan hitinin hinan shiki tash eniki do kon yapathinan to hika nacha ko ahol to to hihan skago do kon kaya pakha shindan Nahayol Kahliki Lo da Hosia ya Yisiki baby Hadi Kanan dan hit Z do let one hit the Shnahe do a hair what the
Yat shikeda shady profilia fowler the shijina my deshkis in inchlo for the genie bashchin ado tapa it as a child as chit as nale for totus ahol yena ade is a chashike ko here quashana ho aido ade da is not aido kujana that so gizi shikesh ne ado shas twisani ben dat not hindo na alchin ni hitoken hinalike ben ni yitahos a halan hizar ille do etesni do den a ko joben not hinchik edo shitne aro di kwelch in al nehi shi ben na kwet de zin lini edo a get njagada hat so de zin holon ben do sna a do aho a kuiche hat so de zin holon jagal shit not an shit nest kha a koti bansi kregi shek adle Saga ho zanja aja aid na ho khina atlet ajam but not as na ko ata khoshian shikero shidn and he cheat on his abata des bal na khe dik at ed abata des bal the shito ze asa ko na hastado ko chinen lini ko beneta dit ko ban hilta ho chinen lini ado ko na tloshi edo hashin ko benit edo na khalia do the nilzen di kwa Navajo Nation Zoo because anige do at sadok ko be ne that it's ko ba he nitzen ko kodoshi to the zen lini bech na shtleto le ko den ho jon do le shaman hastan ya de hil zelistan twistan ado ko halch wan na dal sui tadin anit et sa anare bi ke ho jon ko de yati o asibi internahi kal ko yat hon hisna hot dole yat on hisna hast dole khashine la kon khastwini hizani dan lo ho tata hot del jish do tata hot wal jish yinni ado enna which inil nigo in hinsen chamana hasandi in the neda no lini ado kon na hasan bakat ne dahi kon yat ehon na hasan ho bakat na ne dado le nasko ne nije sambi dahi dil se jot e kodo to the zinche nan ne shaman hasan ya delhil di in the neda no lini a kuiche kon na ni hit to dizin ni hit to the zin hi yin that the yin on ha insen dole ado kon hi alchinin hi awen hi yajin lini atoichi aros twido sani dan lini altra beltahon londo le nas ne nejo ado kon anid e kashmish yaje bansi kedon juno ho kashmish nada it leton henna tato khasan kon henna tato kha jot e ya a kwicho ho so dilzen adon hizad he ol in lini kon ya at hon eliedo le hinan tinadi yindole hajo osad lini ya at he bech ina del tole yo o nebe ado konat an in lini alt benashni ole kon telen lini adoshi yaj adon ni besh bahasa anedan leho tatnas neleda dan lekon ado hon wade do hashine la nat ani holla ni masanin hi chain hi nalle ni ma ado dan hi je naka alchine ni hi toke yat e ko hon na de kredole ko atso zen lini ko be shaho aiben na hon atso ben na nashni dole adon hi di in the net and lini ko yat e ko kon hi last adole ado ko yat e hon hin nan tinana sladole ni take case ni hinahat hinsakes adon he ol in yat hon tinta nel dole ben nani edole nasko net kon sago to the zinlini hon be hanana sit ole adon khata halyaniko ni hitala so dan le kon in tasa zel in jadel nishido